The man was playing dead, but Charlie shot him anyway to test. Throughout the entire ordeal, George didn't blink once. After confirming he was truly dead, Charlie finally left with peace of mind. But just as he was making a phone call in his car, he spotted George appearing on a distant hillside. Charlie became completely enraged. He pulled out his hunting rifle again, ready to shoot George dead. But due to the long distance, Charlie fired several shots without hitting George, so Charlie drove his car in pursuit. Seeing Charlie closing in, George desperately climbed up the mountain. Then, he crawled into a cave he'd visited as a child, only to find the water pool inside had long dried up. George, in desperation, began shouting. By nightfall, George was shivering uncontrollably from the cold, while Charlie remained stationed outside the cave. At this rate, he would eventually die of starvation in the cave. In his daze, George noticed a glimmer of light. There was still a small puddle of water in the cave. He quickly crawled to the edge and drank frantically, but the cave remained freezing. George couldn't bear the cold any longer and fumbled his way out. While Charlie was using the bathroom, he sneaked into the car, quickly turning off the headlights. But just as he reached for a coat to keep warm, he suddenly saw Charlie walking toward the car. With no choice, George hid behind the vehicle. However, when Charlie got into the car, he noticed the automatic interior lights didn't turn on. Someone had obviously switched them off manually. Then he noticed the driver's door was still ajar. Charlie figured George must be behind the car, so he suddenly started the engine and rapidly reversed. Fortunately, the car's chassis was high enough. George narrowly escaped. He quickly got up and hid behind a large boulder. The vicious Charlie pulled out explosives, throwing them repeatedly in George's direction. George could only dodge frantically. After using all his explosives, Charlie took out his hunting rifle again. While Charlie was reloading, George charged out with a slingshot. One precise shot knocked Charlie unconscious. When Charlie regained consciousness, George had tied him up in the car. Finally, George delivered the serial killer Charlie to the police station, hoping he would face punishment. Little did he know Charlie had already bribed the sheriff and could leave freely. By the time George discovered the truth, it was too late. George realized this wasn't over. He hurried home, instructing his girlfriend to prepare their defenses. Sure enough, that very night Charlie showed up at their door. Just as Charlie prepared to shoot, the girlfriend suddenly pulled out a handgun and shot Charlie in the chest. In the chaos, she dropped the gun. George picked it up and fired another shot at Charlie. Refusing to give up, Charlie slowly approached them. With no other choice, George raised the gun again and ended Charlie's life.